Hello guys, Sanibonani. My name is Sizwe. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the J-1 and the F-1 visa interview at the US Embassy. So basically I'm going to be talking about the things that you have to keep in mind and the rules that you have to follow when you're preparing for the interview, such that at the end of the interview you are guaranteed that the visa is going to be issued to you. You're not going to fail the interview. So if you're preparing for that, and if you're somebody that is actually interested in applying for the visa in the near future, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and sit back and watch the entire video. So yeah, please enjoy the video. So guys, before we proceed, there are basic things that we are going to talk about the US Embassy. The US Embassy or any other American government building are very secure buildings. They are treated, or they are subject to airport grade or airport type security. There are things that you are not supposed to bring to the embassy. So to be safe, make sure that you just bring only the things that you're going to need for your business with the consular section of the embassy. That is your identification documents and other documents that you're going to need. And there are items that are actually prohibited from being brought to the US Embassy. So if you are found with those items, you are going to be turned back and your interview is going to be rescheduled for another day. The things that are prohibited from being brought to the embassy include cameras, laptops or larger electronic devices, large bags and luggage, tools of any size and type, weapons of any kind. Photography is strictly prohibited inside or outside the building. You are under no circumstances to be found taking pictures of the US Embassy. So do not make that mistake of doing that. Otherwise, you're gonna be in serious trouble. Your phone, or you don't bring any camera, make sure that your phone is off. Shut your phone down, and they keep it with the security section of the embassy. So you are not in any case supposed to take any pictures of the building. The only things that you can bring into the embassy, if you have a baby, you can bring baby food. You can bring the baby bottle food, or the baby stroller, and other things that are related to taking care of the baby. Otherwise, to be safe, just make sure that you only bring what you need to take care of your business with the consular section of the embassy. So the first point that we're going to talk about is ties to your home country. Before you go for the interview, make sure that you know for sure what are your ties in your home country, because you are going to be asked about ties in your home country. Under the US law, by default, people who apply for the non-immigrant visas, such as the J-1 or the F-1 student visas, are viewed as intending immigrants. They are viewed as people who are trying to move to the United States and stay in the United States permanently. So you have to prove to the consular officer that you are not one of them. You are not trying to move to the United States permanently. You're just going there for your internship or for your education, and after that you're going to go back to your home country. You have to have strong reasons that you're going to give to the US consular officer why you are going to move back to your home country, and your reasons needs to be stronger than the reasons why you will stay in the United States permanently. So you need to have strong ties in your home country, otherwise your visa is going to be denied. So ties in your home country are basically things that tie you back in your homeland or your previous place of residence. So these things may be a job back at home, like your whole family lives back at your home country, owning a house or an apartment, financial assets that you actually own, or financial assets that you're going to inherit, investment, and anything else like a car or something, a car in your name, and other things like maybe you have a wife back at home. So things that actually tie you back in your home country. Those are the reasons that you need to give to the consular officer, that you have stronger reasons that will make you go back to your home country and leave the United States. Those reasons are stronger than the reasons why you will stay in the USA. So you are not an intending immigrant. The second point that you're going to talk about is the English language. You should be able to express yourself in English. Everything that you say in front of the consular officer should be in English. You are not supposed to say anything in any other language other than English. Even if your English language is not perfect, you should specify plans that are going to help you improve in your English language skills when you get to the US. So do keep that in mind. The third point that we are going to talk about is company. You are not supposed to bring company to the embassy for your interview. Don't bring your parents, don't bring your uncle, don't bring your relative or your friends. Anyone else that you bring to the embassy is going to be turned back. And even if they're let inside the building, that is not going to look good on your side. So it is going to paint a picture that you're not able to do things on your own. So therefore, you're not going to survive in the United States. You're always going to require some assistance. So do not bring anyone else. Just go to the embassy on your own. The fourth point is you have to prove that you are actually a student or an intern, but not an immigrant. You are not trying to move to the United States permanently. You have to know your program that you're going to be doing in the United States. Know it perfectly. Know how it is going to help you back in your home country. Have plans about your program, how it's going to improve you as a person and professionally back in your home country. Basically, you have to have an airtight plan about your program or your study or your internship or the experience that you're going to get in the United States. Do not be an immigrant, but be a student. The consular officer is going to ask you specific questions about your plans after your school program or your internship is finished in the United States. What are your plans after your internship or your school program? You have to convince the officer that you fully intend to return to your home country. That is the first point. Convince the consular officer that you fully intend to return to your home country. Talk about specific plans that you have for the future. Make sure that you specify the city or the area that you're going to enact those plans back in your home country. For instance, if you dream about opening a physical therapy facility back at home, make sure that you tell the officer that you plan on doing that, and mention the specific area or the specific city where you plan on doing that back in your home country. Remember that after your program finishes, you will either be having an American degree or some experience working in an American company. So that is going to greatly increase your chances of being employable in your home country. So do mention that with your, do mention that to the consular officer, that you intend on using that degree or that experience to find a job in your home country. Mention that employers in your home country are actually looking for people with experience abroad and people with good grades or good qualifications, especially qualifications coming from the USA. So do mention that. Point number 5, be concise and be clear. Remember that you don't have a lot of time at the embassy in front of the consular officer. You only have about 3 to 4 minutes at the window. So do not talk in a lengthy way. Listen attentively to what the consular officer is asking and answer exactly what he is asking. Do not talk past the answer. Just respond to what you are being asked, and do not answer the question if you've missed it. There is no harm in asking the consular officer to repeat himself if you've missed the question or if you do not understand it. Do not answer if you do not understand, because that will mean that you're not responding, you're not attentive. Just listen attentively and ask if you don't understand, And yeah, answer the question concisely and straight to the point. Do not talk in a lengthy way. Remember, time is a factor. The sixth point is on supplementary documents. Make sure that you bring all the documents that are required for the visa that you're applying for. Make sure that you don't forget anything behind. You don't leave anything behind. The basic things that you need to bring, or the basic documents that you need to bring, include a valid passport, and the passport must be valid for at least 6 months after your plan to enter the USA, a non-immigrant visa application form DS-160, which is the form that you print online after you pay your fee online, the receipt of your application payment, or the receipt of your I-901 service fee payment. So the service fee is the visa fee, the fee that you pay online. There are two fees that you pay for either the J-1 visa or the F-1 visa. You first pay the service fee, which is always paid online, and then you pay the 160 interview fee at the US Embassy. You bring that in cash. So you also bring 2 passport photos. I will post the requirements of the photos in the description of the video. You also bring your certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant visa status, student status. That is the form I-20 for the F-1 student visa. That is the form F-120 is known as the certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student status, also known as the form I-20 for the F-1 student visa. You also bring, in case of the J-1 visa, you bring the certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant status, which is the form DS-2019 for J-1 visa status. You bring that with you. Also, in the case of the J-1 visa, you bring your training placement plan, the DS-7002. Remember, there is a video that I made about the steps that you have to follow when you're applying for a J-1 visa internship. So do watch that video. It is going to point out all the requirements that are needed for you to apply for the J-1 visa. So additional documents that you should bring but are not required, the consular officer may ask for them, include, if you're applying for school, the letter of acceptance from the college, academic transcripts from your either high school or previous college if you're applying for a graduate program, any degrees or certificates that you have, standardized test scores that you have done, like if you've done the GRE or the SATs, bring those with you. Bring those test scores. English test scores that you have done, either the TOEFL test or the IELTS test, bring those with you. And the documents that prove your income or ability to pay for school or pay for college, bring those with you. They are not required, but the consular officer may ask for them, and if that happens, you have to provide them. You cannot say that I left them behind. No, you cannot do that. The documents that can prove your income or your ability to pay for college include your scholarship offer if you have a scholarship, letters from your parents or employers explaining what they do if they are the ones who are going to be sponsoring your school in the USA, bank statements to those, letters from the bank saying how long have your account been open. And yeah, bring those documents. Remember to not bring unnecessary documents like your birth certificate, your mom's marriage certificate, or don't bring those documents, because they're gonna be a huge pile in your envelope or whatever that you're using to carry those documents, and you're gonna have a hard time to find the documents as are required by the consular officer. So you're going to seem disorganized. Don't bring unnecessary documents. Just bring those documents I've mentioned, and I will be posting a list of all these requirements in the description of the video. So yeah. Point number 7 is country of origin. So when you go for the visa, non-immigrant visa interview, or J-1 or F-1 student visa interview, keep in mind of your country. Keep in mind of your country status, immigration status with the USA. There are those countries that are overrepresented in the United States. I'm not going to mention those. So students or candidates from those countries have a high chance of having their visa denied at the embassy, because they are from those countries who are either overrepresented in the United States, meaning that there is too many people in the United States coming from that country. So you have a high chance of having your visa denied because of that. Also, there are those countries with a history of a lot of people using the J-1 or F-1 visa to move to the United States permanently. So if you're from a country with the history of a high number of people moving to the United States using these non-immigrant visas, you have a high chance of having your visa denied. So keep that in mind. But if your country is underrepresented in the United States and doesn't have that kind of history, you have a good chance of having your visa accepted or granted. Remember that you are coming to the United States to study, not to work. So be able to show sufficient financial resources to the consular officer that are going to prove that you'll be able to finance your education and your cost of living in the United States. Even though students are allowed to work 20 hours a week, make sure that you don't intend to be fully reliant on that. Make sure that you prove that to the officer. You are not going to be fully reliant on you working in the United States. Show sufficient financial resources to the consular officer. Point number 9, tell the truth all the time. Even if you feel like the truth is going to hurt your chances of getting the visa, do not lie. Tell the truth all the time. You do not want to lie to the United States. And there are cases where the consular officer is going to ask some questions when he already has the answer. So do not make the mistake of lying. Tell the truth all the time. So if you lie, you might just lose your chance. You might just lose your visa. You might just get denied just like that. For instance, there's usually a question from the consular officer about relatives in the United States. They ask you if you have any relatives in the United States. Do not lie and say you don't have relatives in the United States if you do. If you do, and if you know them, and if you know the location. So the consular officer may ask you if you have relatives, mention them, and if he asks the location of the relatives in the United States, mention that location if you know them, but do not say you do not have relatives if you know that you do. So do make sure that you do not lie to the US government. So guys, the last point is about maintaining a positive attitude while you are in the embassy. Make sure that you conduct yourself in a very professional manner. The embassy is a very professional place, and it is a very orderly place. People who are there are just orderly people. Don't make noise, don't move around or run around and be clumsy. Just conduct yourself professionally. So while you're talking to the consular officer, make sure that you are polite and be curious. Ask questions. And in the case that you get denied your visa, make sure that you politely ask for the reason for your denial. They will definitely give you the reasons why your visa got denied, so that you correct that in the future. That point is very important because you don't know, you might apply for the visa again. So make sure that you ask for the reasons. Also ask the consular officer what you could have done better so that your visa gets approved. Do not get angry, do not get rude to the consular officer. Do not just, like, if you get denied, you can always apply for the visa again. Just don't get rude, be professional. So make sure that you conduct yourself orderly, and you always keep a positive attitude. So guys, this is the end of the video, and thank you for watching up to this far. And if you feel like you've benefited, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in either applying for an internship through the J-1 visa or applying to school in the US through the F-1 visa, please do watch these two videos. They're gonna pop up somewhere on the screen. Please watch them. They're gonna give you all the information that you need, all the details that you need on applying for those two. Otherwise, see you in the next video.